Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It has been a while since I put a video out. I am sorely missing my crafting muse. So today I have decided to do one of Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. She has a series on missing Mojo ideas. It's a masterclass is what she calls it. Missing Mojo Masterclass. Say that 5 times fast. So what I've decided to do today is her envelope folio. I have here 3. They're rather large envelopes. They're 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, and some fall papers. These are Ciao Bella is the brand, and the name of the series is Fall Break. That's simple enough. Why can't I remember that? Anyway, so I started off with 3 pieces. They're 12 by 12, but I cut them down to 8.5, which is the height, roughly, of these envelopes. I've left a little bit of a border. There will be a little bit of a border of the craft color showing around them, which is fine with me. I actually kind of prefer that. And then this piece is cut a little bit shorter than the 8.5, so that it will fit inside as a lining for the envelopes. Anyway, so let's get started. I tried to come in yesterday to do to try and get an idea of something I might work on, but instead of inspiring my creativity, it inspired my anxiety. So I couldn't do anything yesterday, so here I am trying again. So the first step is to take 2 of these envelopes and sort of glue one flap inside of the other, but keeping this seam here as sort of the hinge, whatever you want to call it, keeping that action able to fold there. Okay, so I will start with that. I hope everyone has had a lovely past couple of weeks that I've been missing. And I hope you'll come back and join me as I get a little more consistent again with my videos. So these are a bit fiddly to get inside of one another, but it does work. You just have to, well, that went way easier than I expected it to, but normally it would be a bit of a struggle for me anyway, to get them to go in there nice and neatly and apparently straight, but wow. All right, so that happened. I'm just going to glue this one down on the outside of the seam, the join, the whatever, and get that established a bit. Okay, so that's that. Like I said, went together much easier than I expected. I'm just going to do this here on this side as well. Make sure this one is not poking up. Right. Good job. Then we take the third envelope and attach the flap to this end. And again, we're doing this so that it will be a folding folio, or the folio, I guess, by the nature of it, it folds. So when you glue them together, you make sure not to glue too close to that hinge so that it will fold a little more naturally according to the way it's already been factory folded, I guess. I have here a new to me brand of glue stick. I don't know if we've discussed this already, but it's called Darius. I don't know how to say it, but it's, you know, I've seen other craft items by that brand. Just never tried the glue stick before, but I really am liking it very much. For those of you who are in the glue seeking club, there is a video. I have not watched it myself, but I know that there is a video by Natasha at Treasure Books that all about glues. So you might want to pop over there and check that out. Like I said, I haven't, just because I have, she's Australian, or I think it's Australia, either Australia or New Zealand, one of those, where the brands that she has access to are different than what I have access to here in the States, and that I don't know what would be equivalent, so brand-wise. Right, so that's that done. Let me just get a wet wipe here and clean up my gritty thing. I do tend to get a little overzealous with the glue. Yeah, you may have noticed I have a little bit of a different setup here. I have my camera, well, it's actually my iPad, but I have the gosh, words, man. The holder for that. I don't know what it's, I can't think of the actual words, but I have it affixed to a shelf on the wall so that when I shake my table, I no longer shake the camera. Yeah. So, why was that so hard for me to say? I don't know. Okay, so I need to decide how much of this I want to use. How wide. I definitely want to make sure that I put enough to cover the exposed areas here. And so I'm just going to measure my way, which means mark. These papers are double-sided, but I only have one of each sheet for whatever reason. I have no idea how long ago I purchased these papers either. So anyway, regardless of all that, I only have one sheet of each, so it's not like I can, you know, use one of each side. I had to pick sides, which I absolutely do not like doing most of the time, but these are, I'm fairly certain I would never use the other sides of them. This is for my preferences. I don't like big scenery kinds of images. I don't know if that made any sense, but makes sense to me, and you know, yeah. So I didn't choose to use that side, and I love a buffalo check or plaid, so I chose this for the inside. And how am I gonna do this, I wonder? I'm fearful that if I put glue on the whole thing, I'm gonna really have a hard time putting it in place. But I think I can do it, because I just realized I don't have to put the glue all the way to the edges. It's not really gonna make that big of a difference. But this is it's heavy cardstock, this scrapbook paper, very heavy cardstock, and it is also gorgeously textured, so it may not take just the glue stick. I may require some, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on there just to be on the safe side, some wet glue, which I was hoping to avoid too much glue because of, you know, drying time issues. But, all right, everybody hold your breath. Okay, maybe it's just me that needs to hold my breath. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's going to go in perfectly, beautifully, just lovely. First go round. Maybe not, but I only got a little bit of glue so far on that flap there. Look at that. Spectacular. That's just amazing. That went way better than I expected it to. So I'm just going to flip this over and smoosh it down. Excuse me. And hope that by leaving some distance between the glue and the actual edge of the paper, I did not glue it closed. So far, so good. Now, the next challenge is going to be folding this. And there are two different schools of thought regarding when to fold glued paper. And I find that it's really never a good time to fold glued paper, because it's when you do it when the glue is still wet, then it tends to buckle and pucker is the real word, the correct word, I think. Pucker on the side that you fold it onto. Like this, for example, I'm folding it in on itself. I find that it usually leaves a ridge there. And then if you're folding it the opposite way and you straighten it out again, that then leaves a hump. So it's just, yeah, I've never found a really which is the better way. It never actually seems to be quite as neat as I would like it to be, regardless of whether you do it wet or dry. Because when I fold it, when it's after the glue has dried, it just doesn't make a neat seam either. Right, so when, see, that's what happens. I don't know if you saw it move back into its natural state. I guess I should have checked to see which way it was more inclined to fold with the grain of the paper. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it like that until it figures out what it wants to do. So this side, I'm going to try and put here. Now, when Tina did this, she just sort of tore her paper along the contour of her, and of course she used the, you know, more conventional V-shaped envelopes. I was trying to say envelope flaps, but it's not just the flaps that are folded or shaped like that. It's the flap and the opening. However, that gives me a bit of anxiety to think about trying to tear, because again, this is very, very heavy cardstock. It would not tear well at all, I don't think. It would not be easy to tear. So I'm going to do some sort of measuring by folding a little past the opening is fine. It doesn't have to be that precise. I mean, it is still a junk journal item, but I'm going to put one here. I'm just trying to decide if I want to try and cover these flaps here. I kind of feel like I should, because it's going to make this, or leave this rather thin. Well, let's just see what happens if I try and draw some lines. there, and there, and figure out how high those should be. I think I'll cut the whole thing there first. Rearrange my whole desk again. That's the way I roll. Sorry if that was loud. Okay, so where was that? Here. Bring this out a little bit. I've lost that mark again. Let's do this the intelligent way. I'll find it on the edge and mark it a little more obviously so I can see it. And I've lost it again, obviously, yeah. Yeah, because that's, yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to cut that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this one to that height as well. So they'll be both roughly the same, the actual size that I need them to be. And this is 5 5/8, so 5 5/8 ish. There. Save that. Right. Now I need to try and figure out how to make this little rooney. Actually, I think I might just cut it. Just gonna cut it. To there. And to there. Then if I'm very clever, which I'm not particularly, see if I can just fold those two little flaps back and cut this off. Like that. Let's see what kind of a, see what that looks like. Turn it around the right way would help. Actually, I think that worked rather well. I am going to get my corner rounder and cut that. Maybe? Maybe not. I buried my scissors. There they are. I don't do that particularly well, but it's going to be good enough. Right, now see how that actually is. Here's where I get myself in trouble. That's not quite enough, and then I'll cut and cut and cut until it's nowhere near where it should be. So that is actually good enough, and I will sort of make templates. for these. Let me cut this one. That was 5 5/8, right? Right. 5 5/8. And this one will be for the other. Yeah, for the other. Yep. And I'll mark these up just the same. That one looks quite a bit taller than the others. Just see if I can take a smidge off of that. Like so. It's better height-wise. Sorry, that's right next to the microphone there. And I will just, I think I'm going to do these on the back side. Using this one as a template of sorts. So cut there, and there, and there, and there. Now, as I said, Tina just sort of tore her openings, so they're not, you know, they're not symmetrical, they're not exactly the same, none of that. It's just, I guess it's preference, and my preference is to not do it that way. And any way you choose to do it is the right way. So, that's the rule. There are no rules. Fold these this way a little bit. Oops, sorry. So I can then cut this. And of course these aren't going to be exactly identical either, because, you know, I am not a perfect being. Excuse my sniffles. I'm still trying to get used to where this blade falls, or where this, I guess it's blade, in, you know, looking at it from the top and the sides. You know, every cutter seems to be a little bit different. So, right. I guess I have to round these corners too, huh? Yep. No way around it. No, no way around it. I am so amusing to myself. I'm having a hard time moving the paper into the curve. There we go. Well, however it falls, it's going to be just good enough. Good enough. Right. Let me do this one, and then I can get cracking with gluing them. This one is not at all straight. This bit. See if I can straighten it a little bit. Well, made a hash of that, but it's okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's just paper. All right, let's get busy with some glue. Glue Crew. These little edges glued as well. Being a little aggressive with the glue stick. And this way. There we go, that's one. Oh. I may have to come back in with a little bit of our glitter glue on these bits here, but that's fine. My glue page is getting a little bit too glued, too gluey. Come back. Trying to escape. Oh yeah, that's gonna have to go in the trash. It's sticking to everything. But don't worry, there's more where that came from. Get the new glue sheet, huh? I guess I need to put something in there too. We'll see how that. See about that after I figure out what I'm going to do on the other side of this. There may be something, a little bit of a scrap left over where I can just use that to line the inside of that third envelope. Right. So, this will be the front. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. That's quite loud. I don't know how that gets gets to be so loud. Right. This will be the front of it. So I'll try and keep that in mind. I mean, I could do that. And then that would be fine because there's I don't know if you've ever used any of these Cartabella little packs. It's not actually a kit, but there are stickers. And then on one of these sheets, there are cut aparts. Well, maybe on more than one. Yeah. So both of these sheets have cut aparts on them that I can use for, they say journal cards, but I would imagine it's kind of difficult to use the other side to write on, but we'll worry about that. All right, so I am going to just use this to cover the front of it. And then I'll find something else to use. And not that. It's too small all the way. Yeah, let me just get this glued down. And I'll probably use some of the, well, I say it's art glitter glue, but it's not really. It's a combination of art glitter glue and PVA glue, but either way, it's wet glue, liquid wet glue. I know that sort of took me a long time to realize what that was, because to me, in my mind, all glues that are in a bottle are wet glue, right? Because they're liquid. But there's a difference. Okay, so my squisher. Trying to be a little more firm around that fold there. So again, I'm just going to try and coerce it into place. Hopefully without leaving the pucker there. I have a feeling I will not be successful. Yeah. Maybe I'll try folding it this way as well. Sort of train it. Make it conform to my will. See, that's exactly what I mean. There's just no way to do it that it doesn't leave one side or the other or both messed up. I mean, that's better than normal, but still not as nice and neat as I would like it to be. Oh well. And that's going to come up. Let me get my glue concoction here. And this should hold it a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I should have just left well enough alone, but no, I couldn't do that. Couldn't do that, could I? Nope, couldn't do it. All right. So, let's see what we want to do with these two bits. Just do green. What do we think of that with that? That's just a bit too busy. But I do like that. So, let me just put a mark here. And get an idea of height here. Okay. And get that cut. If I can find my marks again, that would be really nice. Turn it this way so I can see it a bit closer to me. And there we are. That's one. And here's the other one. Right. Good job. Okay to me. Go ahead and put glue stick, and then I will probably do the white glue mix around the edges. I wonder if it would do any good to score at the fold before I glue it down. I don't know why I've never thought of that, but I just thought of that. What would that be like? I don't see where it would hurt, and perhaps it could help in, you know, sort of training the paper. I don't know where the join's going to fall now, but I will make an attempt. Right. Doesn't seem to have gotten all the way to the edge down here. And here we go again with the creasing game. Yeah, I'm just not going to be as aggressive with that crease as I was with this one, in hopes of a better outcome. Right. Would that be too much different? Excuse me. I'm going to use either one of those. I shall just continue to think on that for a bit. Could I maybe put, that would be maybe a little too busy? I don't know. I cannot make a decision regarding that. So, oh, I said this was going to be the front. Did I not? I did indeed. Right. So, bear with me one moment. I want to cut some of these apart and see what if I might want to use one of those as a topper or a pocket or some such. Right back. Right, I'm back and I have cut all these apart. I think I have decided to put this on the front as sort of a tuck. Like I'll glue it here and here. And yeah. So I haven't inked anything else, but I've decided I'm going to ink this. Or the, you know, from here on I shall be inking. I may go back and try and do some inking around the edges of this. We shall see. Mostly just trying to cover the, I think this has a white core to it, so yeah, I'm just trying to cover the white edges. So yeah, I have no idea what I have to put in these, besides more of the cards that came with, but again, we shall see. I'm debating whether to just use this as a decorative cover element or as an actual tuck spot, but I'm gonna glue it as a tuck spot because I can always just not use it as a tuck spot and glue it down later, but I can't as easily undo the gluing part. Right, so let's just see what options are for decorating. Oops, sorry. I do like the truck. I don't know that he's going to fit. Just barely. He will fit. Okay. I just like to use something for a bit of contrast. You know, not necessarily contrast, but a bit of visual interest. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh. I just found this. It says pickup at the top. It's a pickup truck. And I have apparently either stamped or stenciled on it. I can't really tell which one I have done. But I'm going to tear this like that and ink around it. And this is just, you know, the good old vintage photo ink. If you hear something behind me, it is my cat. It has come to, I don't know what. I don't pretend to ever know what he's thinking. Besides, he seems to always be hungry, which I just did feed him. But, you know, I'm sure if I put something down for him, he would still manage to eat it. Sounds like he found a box or something. Yeah. Definitely something to play with. Him being a cat and all. Wonder if I can do this. It's not so bad. I just don't want to ruin the stickiness of it. But I think I'll be all right. Maybe. Oh, it is very sticky. At least right now. While I'm not wanting it to stick to something, it's very sticky. That's rather cute. I think he's crooked. Is he crooked? No, he looks all right. He's all right. I also just remembered I have these. I'm not really sure. Yes, I got these off of, these are printable from Etsy. And they are Lunic Art Design. And they're not all of them are the same color family. But definitely some of them are. So that's another idea. There are definitely some things in here that I could use for certain. And this is just something I stamped from masking paper. I have a couple of them left over from, I stamped them for my grandson's card. Maybe I could add a few of them. Somewhere. Anyway, just some other things for myself to keep in mind. Oh, I was gonna say I might have to just leave that one there, but it came up. It came back. Right, so let's get these some of these other elements included. You could put that there. They're definitely gonna have to be, in my opinion, they will have to be backed with something to actually journal on. I really like that. I don't necessarily want to put it on the back. I just like the scarecrow. Put him on like a tuck there, and maybe put just a decorative element down here, or the other way around. Get him glued. Right there, and I don't want this to stick to the paper behind, so I'm just going to glue it or stick it onto that and cut around it. just to sort of highlight that that is a pocket and not just a decorative item. My Mr. Scarecrow here. Ink around my horrible cutting and glue him down. Glue it down. Keep picking up stuff off of, I guess it's from the inside of the stand for that. Oh, and there I went and did it anyway. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. All right. There we go. And then bonfires and sweaters. And fall is fun, because it is. Don't want to cover up the house. Let me grab that and I'll put that down there. Oh, it's very sticky. Very, very sticky. And then there was then there was a little pumpkin I wanted to put in as well. That. And then maybe the little apple basket under the tree here. Yes, I know it's not an apple tree, but there we go. Like that. Okay. Let's see what we can do in here. Sweater weather, and put sunflowers right way up. That's so cute. Oh, well, here's more of the truck. Think and think. This as well. And Miss Penny. I don't know if I want to use that because of the one on the front. That's very cute. Don't faint. Just making sure. I'm going to put this on just on two sides. Like so. Yep, stay down. Sorry, I was just lost in thought there. I forgot you all were here, if you still are. Oh, I never did put anything in there. Yeah, I'm back to this again. I mean, do I really even need something there? I mean, the craft color goes well with everything else. I really want to use these stickers, but I just am not at all certain where to put them. So, yeah, I'm having a dilemma. Having a bit of a dilemma. This is a white gourd of some sort. Shaped like a pumpkin, but I've never seen a white pumpkin. But there you go. That is giant. That actually could go in there instead. How about that? Boy, I'm so smart. I'm so smart. Cocoa time. I'm just putting stuff right now. Right. There we go. That's cute. Beautiful fall. I like this sweater weather, but I don't really get outside and play. Not really, not really. So I'm just going to cut that off. Yeah. No one will ever know the difference if they don't watch the video. Right? Right. Right. I think that's going to be just about it. I may do some tweaking to that. Or while I'm being bold, I might just do it now. I'm going to, I like the pumpkins, but I've already said something on here about thankful or gratitude or something. I like the little row of pumpkins. So I'm going to put them down here. And again, no one will ever know if they haven't watched the video. Right. There we are. Something about, did I not? Oh. 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 Yeah. Give thanks. Okay. Well, that is that little folio. And I think it is rather cute. I will back these journal cards with something actually journalable, and that will be done. So thanks everyone for coming to hang out with me for a little while, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.